Have you ever felt like this? Round pushpin, a whole workday goes by and you were busy non-stop. Round pushpin, your to-do list feels like an endless scroll. Round pushpin, but by the end of the day, you look back and realize you didn't actually accomplish anything truly meaningful. It's not that you lack willpower. It's not that you don't have ambition. You're just living in a world full of noise and false priorities, where everything feels urgent, everyone needs you, and every notification demands your immediate response. The result? White right pointing back hand index. You wake up planning to do it all. White right pointing back hand index, but end up getting nothing that matters done. That's why the 1-3-5 rule was created. A simple, yet incredibly effective, method to help you do less, but do it better. No more overwhelm. No more chaos. No more chasing your day. Part 1. What is the 1-3-5 rule? And why can it save you from overload and chaos? Do you know what really drains us mentally? It's not heavy work. It's not long hours. It's ambiguity and lack of control. Bullseye, your brain doesn't get tired from working. It gets tired from not knowing where to start. Every day, we're bombarded with dozens of micro decisions. What should I do first? Which task is the most important? Should I reply to this message now? Should I tackle the big task or just handle quick wins? This constant mental juggling creates a phenomenon called attention residue, the leftover mental clutter from switching tasks without closure. It weakens your focus, lowers your productivity, and by the end of the day, even if you're exhausted, you still feel like you didn't accomplish anything. Electric light bulb, limit quantity to increase quality. That's where the 1-3-5 rule comes in, a mental detox for your day. Simple, yet perfectly aligned with how your brain actually works. Pushpin each day, choose only one big task, the one thing that, if done, moves you significantly forward. 3 medium tasks, important, but not mentally exhausting. 5 small tasks, quick, necessary, low-effort wins. A total of 9 tasks, arranged with strategy. Why does doing less actually help you do more? According to psychologist Barry Schwartz, the more choices we have, the more we freeze, a problem called the paradox of choice. And based on reports from the American Psychological Association, people who juggle more than 7 tasks daily are 40% more likely to lose focus, 2.5x more likely to make poor decisions, and significantly less satisfied with themselves at the end of the day. The 1-3-5 rule solves this by white heavy checkmark, reducing decision fatigue. White heavy checkmark, cutting down cognitive overload. White heavy checkmark, increasing follow-through, because you know exactly what to do next. Pushpin, this isn't about doing less. It's about choosing better. Some might say, only 9 things a day? That doesn't sound like enough. But the truth is, you don't lack time. You're just spending it on too many things that don't matter. You don't need to do everything. You need to do the right things, intentionally. When you write down 1 big task, you have direction. 3 medium tasks, you maintain momentum. 5 small tasks, you stay productive and feel accomplished. You'll feel the difference on day 1. No more wandering between tasks. No more busy but unproductive. And with every box you check, you'll feel, I'm actually moving forward. You don't need longer days. You need a smarter system. The 1-3-5 rule won't turn you into a superhero. But it will help you live with clarity, focus, and by the end of the day, you'll smile and say, I didn't do everything, but I did what mattered most. Part 2. The more you try to do, the more useless you feel, the trap of endless planning. Your brain has limits, no matter how ambitious you are. You can have big dreams. You can write 20 tasks on your to-do list. But you can't expect your brain to handle all of it, all at once, with the same level of energy. Pushpin, the human brain has a limited amount of focus fuel each day. According to research by Professor Roy Baumeister, University of Florida. Humans have willpower energy like a battery. The more decisions you make, the more drained it becomes. This is called decision fatigue. Explosion symbol: the domino effect: the bigger the plan, the worse you feel. You write down 15 to 20 tasks for the day. By noon, you've only completed 3 or 4. You feel unproductive and discouraged. That disappointment lowers your motivation. In the afternoon, you give up and start scrolling to relax. At night, you feel guilty for procrastinating and the cycle starts again tomorrow. Warning sign: this isn't because you're incapable. It's because your expectations don't match how your brain actually works. Bar chart: distraction equals the silent killer of accomplishment. According to a Harvard Business Review study, each time you switch from task A to task B, your brain takes an average of 23 minutes to regain its original level of focus. That means, when you jump from writing a report to checking email to a quick meeting to updating a spreadsheet, you're unknowingly shredding your focus into pieces. Pushpin: that's why you feel busy but getting nowhere. You're not lacking effort, you're just leaking energy into meaningless transitions. White heavy check mark: the 1-3-5 rule isn't just a planning tool, it's mental energy management. When you use the 1-3-5 rule, you know exactly what your priorities are. You stop redeciding what to do every hour. You eliminate the mental conflict of what should I do first. Your mind stays focused because it's no longer being stretched thin. As a result, you don't just feel good for finishing tasks. You feel powerful for being in control of yourself. Glowing star: this isn't just a productivity hack, it's a mental recovery system. No one can live a focused, effective life if every day begins in chaos. The 1-3-5 rule doesn't ask you to do more. It simply asks you to start your day with clarity. And clarity is the first step to regaining your energy, focus, and belief in yourself. You don't need to prove how capable you are by doing everything. You only need to prove that you're clear-headed by choosing the right things to do. Because when you control your choices, you begin to control the rhythm of your life. Part 3: How to apply the 1-3-5 rule in real life, every day. You already understand the rule. You already understand why it works. Now it's time to turn it into a real tool, used every morning, every week, every goal. Step 1. Start your day with 5 minutes of mental clarity. Each morning, before you check your phone or open your inbox, take just 5 minutes to write down. White heavy check mark: 1 big task. The one thing that, if you complete it today, you'll feel proud. Examples: finish a presentation, send a client proposal, do a 45-minute workout. White heavy check mark: 3 medium tasks. Important actions that support your progress, but won't drain you. Examples: reply to 5 key emails, plan your week, declutter your workspace. White heavy check mark: 5 small tasks. Quick, maintenance tasks that still matter. Examples: pay a bill, confirm an appointment, prep your lunch. Pushpin pro tip: write it by hand, it helps your brain commit more deeply than typing on a phone. File dividers #step 2, plan on a clear structure. Create a simple template to record your daily 1-3-5 list. Bullseye: most important rule, do not add extra. Stick to the limit, that's what keeps you focused. Artist palette step 3, customize to fit your lifestyle. No two people are the same. You can flex the system based on your day. By available time. Busy day? Use 1-2-3. Lighter schedule? Try 2-4-6, but keep total under 10. By category. 1 task for health. 3 tasks for work. 5 tasks for personal life, admin, and relationships. By week rhythm. Monday strategic work. Wednesday operations and execution. Friday reflection, cleanup, review. Bar chart real example, a productive Tuesday using the 1-3-5 rule. Morning planning for Tuesday. 1 big task. Heavy check mark #draft strategic report for the week, 2 hours. 3 medium tasks. Heavy checkmark call 3 major clients. Heavy checkmark review monthly expenses. Heavy checkmark read 2 chapters of a professional book. 5 small tasks. Heavy checkmark pay electricity bill. Heavy checkmark send meeting confirmation email. Heavy checkmark clean up email inbox. Heavy checkmark drink 2 liters of water. Heavy checkmark do 5-minute breathing exercise. Alarm clock total time, still within 8 working hours, but now you're leading the day, instead of chasing it. You can't control everything that happens today. But you can control what you choose to start with. The 1-3-5 rule doesn't turn you into a productivity robot. It simply helps you become a more intentional version of yourself, one day at a time. Part 4. Why do many people fail with the 1-3-5 rule? You've learned the rule. You've written your list. But after just 2 or 3 days, you give up. Why? Here's the truth. White heavy checkmark the rule works. Crossmark, but if you don't understand yourself, you'll still go off track. Crossmark mistake number 1, you cram too much into 1-3-5. Some people write 1 big task equals finish an 80-page ebook. 3 medium tasks equals clean the whole house, study for 3 hours, practice a new language. 5 small tasks equals make 10 phone calls, go grocery shopping, water plants, exercise for 1 hour, read 3 chapters. Technically, it's still 1-3-5. But each task is massive. That list? It's more like a self-imposed sentence than a helpful plan. Pushpin the lesson, don't cram your entire life into one day. Set goals that are doable, not perfect. Crossmark mistake number 2, treating 1-3-5 like a regular to-do list. The 1-3-5 rule isn't just a wish list. It's a strategic decision-making system. If you just jot down tasks based on mood, or worse, copy yesterday's list, you're turning it into a glorified to-do list. Pushpin the lesson every morning, ask yourself, if I only complete anything today, what will make me feel most accomplished? That's your big task. The rest should support it, not distract from it. Crossmark mistake number 3, being too rigid, no flexibility, no forgiveness. Some people quit the 1-3-5 rule because they couldn't check off all 9 tasks. Or worse, they push themselves to keep the full list even on tough days. Meetings, family issues, illness, and still try to cram in 9 tasks. Bullseye that only turns the system into another burden. Pushpin the lesson, this tool should serve you or not shackle you. On tired days? Use 1-1-2. On meeting heavy days? Just 1 core task and 2 small ones is enough. You're not here to prove anything. You're here to move forward in a way that works for you. White heavy checkmark adjusting the system, 3 reflection questions to personalize your 1-3-5. At the end of each week, pause and ask, which part of the list do I keep skipping? Big, medium, or small tasks? Which task keeps getting rewritten but never done? Why? How do I feel when I check things off, relieved, forced, or proud? White right pointing backhand index. These answers are your built-in feedback system. No app required. Just self-awareness. The 1-3-5 rule is a framework, not a rigid law. If you learn to listen to yourself, it can become a lifelong companion. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay consistent and adjust when needed. Final part, you don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right things. Pause for a moment. Look at your daily task list. Are you trying to prove your worth by doing more? But maybe what you need isn't more productivity. Maybe what you truly need is clarity. Control. The quiet confidence of knowing, today, I lived in alignment with what really matters. The 1-3-5 rule doesn't ask you to be perfect. It simply asks you to be honest about your time, your energy, and your goals. Every morning you write your list. You stop chasing your day and start designing it. You don't need to check off 20 tasks to feel accomplished. You only need to complete. White heavy check mark 1 thing that truly matters. White heavy check mark 3 things that move you forward. White heavy check mark 5 things that keep your life running smoothly. And when you do that, you'll feel your days become more focused, more grounded, and more fulfilling. Bullseye right after this video. Memo: write down your own 1-3-5 list for tomorrow. Not for your perfect self. Write it for the you who's simply trying to grow, one day at a time. If this video gave you clarity, thumbs up sign like it, so the algorithm knows you want more content like this. Speech balloon comment below, what's your most important task for today? Bell subscribe to Everyday Momentum for more mindful systems to live with purpose, without overwhelm. You don't need a complicated system to take control of your life. Just one simple rule, and the commitment to practice it daily. That's the power of 1-3-5.